So yummy.
There are a few better welcomes to the kickoff of a Wildcat Sanctuary fundraiser than the audible, content groans of rescued leopard Shazam enjoying his meal, rescued lioness, tigress Winona over here enjoying her meal for the day. And welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday. A tad behind schedule, but that's life here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. We had some fun things happening, some important things happening that Tammy, I'm sure, will be expanding during her Wildcat wrap-up on Thursday. But some cat moves, which kind of pushed our schedule back a bit, but that is not going to stop us from kicking off the Fill the Freezer fundraiser. I was going to say feed a freezer, but we're not feeding the freezer. We are hoping to feed our 150 plus rescued residents. Cats like Shazam here, who is our oldest rescued leopard. Miss Winona over here, a kind of middle-aged tigress who certainly benefits from the eclectic diet we offer here, as well as the unique way that we often like to feed our cats. It's not just often the tongue feeding like you might see. There's a variety of ways that our cats enjoy food. So we might be seeing the tongue feeding now, but we're actually, once we've completed with both of these two cats, we're going to be walking over to Tigress Daisy, who has a barrel feeder full of her diet, and she's going to be puzzling out her food. And so oftentimes the caretakers will make extra steps, and we love that our cats or that our caretakers are doing that, because they understand the simple fact that for our rescues, there's no denying the fact that they are living in a captive environment, and we want to give them the types of things or the best things that we can give them given the circumstances. And at the sanctuary, one of the first things to setting out our rescues onto the right path and the wild at heart path, if you will, is getting them on a proper diet and understanding that many of our rescues often before coming to the sanctuary, before rescue, they have never had this either quality of diet, they have never had as reliable of a diet where we're feeding our cats every single day. And they've never had the type of options that we know cats, people. We are all cat lovers. Even our domestic cats at home can be picky. And for them to have the type of options that they may have never had before. So I think there's just really certain things that you can hone in on, really just the grassroots things that help our rescues. And food is probably kind of the strongest one in that category, is obviously that attention to detail and getting to know the cat. But it's kind of, it's kind of like just us humans. Maybe you had a bad day at work, bad day at school, what have you. Kind of a good meal solves all of that. And to think that some of our rescues coming here, from whatever previous situation they were rescued from, they might not have ever had this quality, quantity, or options. Well, that's one of the things that your supports makes possible. And like so many of the firsts that you allow here at the sanctuary, to think that for some of our rescues, this is maybe the first time that they've had a consistent, reliable, nutritious diet. And Winona just snacking away there. Shazam taking a little bit longer of a time, and I think that's another fun thing. And we're in the midst of hoping to get a TikTok off the ground of all the different styles of eaters here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Who's the most delicate, now that we're looking at Shazam receive some of his juices here? Maybe who's the messiest eater? Who's the most boisterous eater? So that can be a fun little fill the freezer TikTok coming your way this week. And of course, Natalie is, the consummate animal caregiver. She's given Shazam his beef pieces. And of course, there's a little leftover juices, and she is doing an excellent job of shuttling those juices from the tongs into Shazam's delicate little leopard lips there. And you can see him very gingerly lapping up that meal. But again, rest assured, Shazam had a full-fledged diet of beef and, of course, all types of supplements that we are able to sprinkle on there that helps a cat like him in his senior years feel happy and healthy even as he ages. But every last drop, Shazam, yeah, I can see it. You did get every last drop, Goofy. Well, cool. Natalie, Jill, totally appreciate it. And off to Daisy. Okay, thank you two. And hello and welcome everyone. If you're just joining us on this live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, we are launching our Phil the Freezer fundraiser. And if you joined, or rather if you saw our e-newsletter this morning, a packed e-newsletter, and in a good way. There's a lot of things happening. One of those being obviously our Phil the Freezer fundraiser. But Thursday, we are going to be having another unexpected and emergency surgery with Mango the cub. Yesterday, we posted a reel on our Facebook as well as our Instagram pages where we got to hear from Dr. Camper that we've discovered it looks like that little Miss Mango has developed another hernia. And if I'm not mistaken, also attached in that e-newsletter, as well as it being published to our social media, you can hear right from the horse's mouth about what's going to be happening on Thursday, what we're doing for Mango, and how we're going to be so thankful for you guys keeping her in your thoughts. So just kind of thinking back to that e-news, it certainly was a busy one. And then obviously too, kind of highlighting Shazam, who we were just spending time with, hoping to get him on a Solensia injection regimen, because I think Shazam is really synonymous with the operant conditioning that happens here at the Wildcat Sanctuary and how effective it can be for our rescues. And Shazam has gone as far in his operant conditioning training to be able to present his tail, and we are able to have done blood draws on Shazam without him being sedated. And now with all that hard work and with Shazam being able to present things like his tail, we're going to be able to give him that Solensia injection while he's awake, which is awesome, awesome. That's a win-win for us because one, it's less invasive for Shazam. We're not having to sedate one of our senior or geriatric cats. And then two, he's already been, in a way he's been trained or conditioned for it, I should say. Oop. But it's on the opposite side here. But nonetheless, a win-win for Shazam, and we're excited to hope get him on that Solensia regiment. And obviously, you guys seeing the price of that, and it's always, always appreciated, helping defray some of those large medical costs that a senior cat like Shazam often incurs. Hello and welcome, everyone. If you're just tuning in, we have been feeding some felines here at the Wildcat Sanctuary since we are kicking off our Phil the Freezer fundraiser. I see the lovely tigress Daisy sniffing the air, kind of something's wafting through the air, and that something being Daisy's diet. You guys know that we are not just using tongs, not just relying on our food chutes, that we like making sure that our cats have fun and at times interactive ways of enjoying their daily diets here. Oh, and Daisy, you are a shrewd tiger. I think it is always so entertaining to see, and I'm not saying one cat's dumb or one other cat's smart or what have you, but it's just so fun to see how maybe quickly some of the cats are to solve the puzzle that's laid in front of them, and then maybe how it takes others a little bit more time, maybe how others will take a brute force approach as opposed to a little bit more delicate of just spinning her puzzle feeder like that. You'll see just very simply, it's a barrel that's been positioned on a little spindle that can act as a spindle, and Daisy can give that barrel feeder a turn. It will drop out some of her wonderful beef pieces and chicken pieces that I see lodged in there. And voila, Daisy gets to enjoy her meal as well as, exercising her brain a little bit. Maybe I should put, I can't open my refrigerator until I do a crossword puzzle or something like that. Some type of dieting strategy I guess I have for myself. Patricia asking, where's Dash, your sponsor boy? Well, Patricia, Dash, and I'm sure you know, I hope you saw that update, is Dash is all the way over in Roar Ridge. So Mr. Dash is enjoying this Wednesday and, of course, benefiting from the same support that when you give to our Feed a Feline fundraiser. You're feeding a cat like Dash, you're feeding a cat like Daisy, you're feeding all of our rescues. But he's very well, Patricia, and as a sponsor of Dash, I always encourage you to get a hold of us. Please contact us and ask for a sponsor update on Dash. Get some updated photos, videos, clips, what have you. We would love, love, love to give you 100% all about Dash and an update just for you. Krista Christensen saying, you all have pumpkins. I think you might have spotted a pumpkin in Winona's yard. The caretakers are keeping it seasonal. 'Tis the season, Krista. And, well, I think, you know, maybe what was a watermelon or, you know, some type of melon during those, you know, true summer months as well. It's transitioning into something a little more autumnal, which is going to be maybe some more squash, of course, the pumpkins like you're seeing, all types of fun little options for the cats still to enjoy some unique enrichment. And everyone, I know Daisy's really kind of taking her time here, and that's, you know, the proof is always, you know, have a point, you know, to make behind everything that we're looking. And the fun thing is I mentioned the food shoots earlier, in a way that these puzzle feeders allow us to do exactly what we're able to accomplish with the food shoots too, is that we're able to use those large pieces of food, large chunks of food like cats would prefer and enjoy in the wild, and we're able to fit those into the puzzle feeders. So it's no surprise that Daisy kind of did her, you know, her wheel and got her spin, and a handful of pieces dropped out there, and knowing that those are a little larger pieces. So it's it looks like our girl is just taking her time enjoying some of those large beef pieces, which Daisy was going to help me just talk a little bit about how gifts are, well, how they're going to go into action during our Fill the Freezer fundraiser. And I'm remiss, I apologize if I haven't really talked about the timeline of this fundraiser, is that it's a quick little 7-day zip. From today until September 30th, we are hoping to raise, it's a large number, but close to $30,000 to help make sure that our freezer is filled and winter ready. So I wanted to kind of break down just a few, you know, maybe ways to visualize how your gift is going to help the cats, maybe a way for you to just understand where your dollar goes when you give to the Wildcat Sanctuary. But for example, Miss Daisy, a big cat here, if she wanted to have, receive meals for a month, how much would that cost, little Miss Daisy? Well, it would cost $140 to feed Miss Daisy for a month. And that goes for all of our big cats. And just getting an idea of that is that we're home to about 150 rescues here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Those rescues being made up of a variety of wildcat species, but just think about all of the big cats, you know, here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, from new faces like Louie and Bentley, all the way to Daisy and Dash, the Ukraine Pride, you name it. And now map that cost onto every single one of them. And that's why we here at the Sanctuary are always appreciative and always thankful, and never willing to ignore the fact how expensive it is to care for our rescues here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and how thankful we are to have you guys helping defray some of those large costs that it takes to give lifelong care to cats like Daisy. And Daisy coming at it from a different direction. I like it. She gave it a spin. Her first spin was kind of facing away from us. Now she's kind of puzzling it out from the backside. She says, I see a little piece of low-hanging fruit, or should I say low-hanging meat, just hanging right out of the side there. So there she goes. And kind of an odd day, folks. You know how it goes, but it's one of those days where Facebook is showing me all the lovely folks that are watching, but it'll just show me the occasional comment or question. I'm not able to see any of your comments in full. I don't know what the heck's going on. If I could get my hand around Facebook and give it a big shake, you bet I would. But I appreciate your guys' patience, and as always, you are still important to the conversation here, and I would love if you still made your comments, questions, observations heard, even though I'm not able to read them on the live. Daisy taking a lap. I see a pool being filled up for, I don't want to, say anything too soon, Miss Daisy, but I don't want to say this is the last pool fill, but it could be one of the last. I was here in Sandstone, Minnesota. You can already see some of the leaves changing behind me. Some cooler lows at night, but still some rather pleasant highs. It's even getting into the 70s or mid 70s today, so that means there's still plenty of tigers and pools to be had. And I can interject on myself and welcome everyone to this live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Rescued Tigress Daisy, puzzling out, oh, nice job, Daisy. Puzzling out her meal from a barrel puzzle feeder that's been placed in her free-roaming habitat. Today, we are launching our Fill the Freezer fundraiser. We have 150 plus rescued residents here at the Wildcat Sanctuary who all enjoy not only a reliable diet, but an eclectic diet. It's going to consist of beef, chicken, wild game options. Let's not forget, of course, all the dry and wet food options our hybrid rescues enjoy. And from now until the next week, we are hoping to highlight just how important food is here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Highlight, well, very simply, how food makes the world go round for so many of our rescues, and highlight how important your support is to help ensure that our cats have the types of diet they've never had, that they have the type of consistency and reliability that they never had. That's something that our rescues get to enjoy here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and we're so thankful for you guys ensuring that sense of security for them. What do you think, Miss Daisy? I see a couple hard pieces in there still. I see one that's kind of laying on the spindle. Maybe I can zoom in with the camera. So that one might take a little bit more of some percussive maintenance, Daisy, as opposed to just spinning. So we'll see here. And we'll hang out for just a little bit longer. I'd like for Miss Daisy to solve her puzzle. We might go check in with Winona, too, who we saw at the beginning of the live post, and of course, Leopard Shazam. But we do have a full week of some fun feeding content for you, be it live posts or reels. Like I mentioned, we're trying to get a fun little reel off the ground that's going to show off some of the, eating. Nice job, Daisy. You did it. I saw it come down. Voila! Good eye, Daisy. I said that I wasn't going to say who's the smartest tiger, earlier on this live, but I might just have to say that you are one shrewd tigress, pretty lady. It's mentioning that piece wasn't really sitting on the barrel itself, but on the metal spindle, and so it took Daisy having to give it a few extra spins, maybe a knock or two, and it deposited itself into the barrel, which then deposited itself outside of the barrel. Daisy being very measured and calculated, making sure that there is no food in there. Looks like she's giving a little visual inspection too. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I know the comments are up to no good, but I'm just going to make sure that I'm not missing any. And I can do a little fill the freezer conclusion and get everybody excited for the rest of the week. And I shouldn't flagrantly use the word excited. I know one thing, rather serious thing that is going to be happening this week, mentioned in our e-newsletter this morning, as well as a reel we shared on social media yesterday, that Mango original one, and for that to be happening Thursday, and Tammy's going to be with Mango at her exams and updating everyone accordingly. So speaking of measured, Daisy, I need to be a little bit more measured in how I'm communicating. Pretty lady, I haven't got one chuff during this live. She says, well, yeah, my mind's too busy calculating and thinking about this puzzle feeder that you've dropped off here in my wonderful space. So I think we might circle over. I might say hi and bye to Shazam and Winona. And would just ask you guys to stay close this week. Mentioned that Mango news happening on Thursday. And of course, our Fill the Freezer fundraiser and all of the fun content that our new interns have been creating to launch off this new fundraiser, a new fundraiser to them, I should say, the Fill the Freezer fundraiser. But let's go see if we can hang out with, get a little more cat time in before we say so long. And the whole time I'm hearing, the crash and bang of Winona on her barrel, and she says, well, now I'm just hanging up my hat a little bit for the day, and it will be a good little opportunity. Hey, there come some of my comments. Now, if that doesn't keep me on the live a little longer, I don't know what will, Miss Winona. Chizzy Lovell saying nice. Commenting on your weather. Daisy is the smartest, says Patricia. I won't tell sponsor. Dash that, Patricia. Good girl, NASA kitten. Wow, that's quite, you know, Daisy's going to be an astronaut. She's so smart. I like that, Denise. Here's Winona's current barrel. Certainly doesn't have much.